All right, so back at it on these casements. I've got my new Replica sash here ready to fit into the opening. Hopefully it's just a little bit too big and I can trim it down to fit exactly. And I've got the other set out in relation to it in case I have to move this post in or out in relation to where the sash needs to be so everything fits right. So just gonna get started, messing around and stuff, see what we can do. So what I'm working on now, I've got my Replica sash here, and it's a little tall for the opening, which is good. So, but I have to trim it properly. You know, one of the things that I'm looking for, you know, I have to make sure that my muntins line up. You know what I'm saying? Because if the muntins don't line up, you know, they're like this, that's okay, game over. But I know they line up according to, how would you say, I mean, like proportion wise, but you know, you still have to get the height relative to one to the other so that they're lining up. So I'm just kind of looking at it here. I mean, it looks good, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think maybe if you put like a straight edge on there, I mean, you could put a straight edge, but you still got to kind of, you know, eyeball it, because actually this sash here actually has a slight sag to it, right? So it's going down. So if, you know, it's a judgment call, right? So, but anyway, so you can see it's gonna fit. I've got, it's touching down here on the sill, raised up a little bit right there. I guess my sill slopes a little bit, and the measurement, overall measurement, kind of indicated that. And so now what I'm gonna have to do, I think, you just have to be really, really careful, how much you trim, how fast, in a situation like this, because, we spent a lot of time making this, and although I could make another one if I needed to, that would be going backwards. So even going forward, even going slow is what I'm gonna do right now. Okay. So I've got this in a little bit better now. Okay. I kind of like the way it's sitting up at the top. Okay. It's touching right there. I mean, it's barely going in here. It's not going in at the bottom. It's touching here at this corner. But you see, I've got let's see if you can see the gap through there. I've got a gap through there. So I've got a big gap right there. You can see the daylight through it on the other side, and it's touching right there. So that means that, this piece of wood, it goes in and out subtly, and for this sash to fit properly, I mean, I like the way it's lining up here. I want it to shift over exactly. I want it to shift over in a parallel way, right? And in order to do that, I'm going to scribe it along this edge so that it does just shift this way, all right? But it's not going to be much because it's already letting in right here. And if I do it too much, it'll let in too much and the gap will become too big. So we'll see. The other thing too, this edge here, I'm gonna chamfer this with a block plane to get that in as well. All right, so in the process of putting this, okay, so like I have scribed it to this leg here, jam leg, and oh, look at that! Isn't that nice? Oh my goodness! Holy moly, roly poly! That's like pretty daggone beautiful. Anyway, so like the reason why I was telling you I needed a belt sander is because that, or a planer, is because on this edge here, and I'll take it out of the hole for a second. This edge here, you want to be slightly beveled back. You know, I want to remove this. I mean, that's exaggerated, but you know, you want to remove that kind of material there, so that way, if you do have any kind of irregularity on the jam right there, it's not going to interfere with how it closes. It's like you're taking a little bit of material out to, you know, just, you know, as a relief. You know, you're addressing any kind of expansion and contraction that might happen. You know, anything that gets caught in there. Hinge. Another thing's called hinge bind. That's where, you know, where the leaves of the hinge will then, you know, will how do you say, you know, touch each other. Sometimes the screw heads from the screws from the hinges stick out, and those will touch each other and cause it to bind. It just kind of eliminates a lot of problems if you can ease the edge a little bit. I think 3 degrees is the number. I've actually got a really nice plane at the shop that does it. It's antique. You know, it's Porter cable. It's like the plane to use. Yeah. You know, but I mean, for one thing, I just rarely bust it out. You know, and the case weighs like 40 tons. So anyway. But yeah, this fits really good now. And so what we have to do now? Now we have to, you know, start hinging it. Well, I got to get I got to get a belt sander to ease the edge. I might have to take a little bit more off the edge, just because I know that hinge is gonna shove it this way a little bit, and this one here it's already touching pretty much here. So you know, so it's still a little ways to go to get it fitting properly. But man, I love the way that thing fits, man. It's like so fortunate because I don't have to move this at all. You know, if I can lock this in place. Because remember how, I mean, I had to spread it to make these fit. Now this, I mean, it's exactly in the right spot. So, you know, if I can get this fitting, you know, I can move on to the next one. Maybe we can get done today. Be good. So I'll capture this very good on the camera, but this is kind of why you have to ease the edge. But first of all, I mean, I'm really kind of happy with the way this thing is going in. Okay, I really like it a lot. Okay, but here, what I want you to focus in on with the camera here is down here at this point right there where it's currently touching. Okay, see how it's touching there? Now pan out and see how it's angled. You know how it's sticking out of the opening like an open door a little bit. Okay, watch what happens to this when I close it. Okay, watch. See that? Okay, so what's happening is it's something's on the other side that's hitting it and then causing that gap to open. See? But if I had eased that edge like I was telling you, okay, then that problem would be eliminated instantly. You see that? So that's, I mean, I will have to go and get the belt sander to do that, but you know, for now, what's going on. So okay, so now I've got the one hinge here. Okay, I like my reveal. My reveal up there is really, really nice. Okay, I got to hang this hinge. I got to drop it a little bit there. Put my hinges on. You know, and we should be in pretty good shape. Oh, but here's something too that you gotta notice. Okay, is like I made this sash yesterday at the shop. You know, I put it on the joiner, I put it through the planer. These pieces are as straight as they get, okay? And so it's basically a straight edge, for now, right? I mean, later on it could bow, whatever, but now it's straight. Look, see, it's touching here. You know, it's in the same plane. That's kind of what I mean. Okay, and down at the bottom, same thing. It's in the same plane, pretty much. Okay, which is what you want. But look here, I've got a gap here. I don't know if you can see it. You know, here there's like a. See, I'm hitting it with my finger. It's like sticking out a 1/4 inch, meaning that this board here is bowed in that way, and that's going to affect my hinging. So I can put this hinge on here in a normal position, but I'm going to have to put the hinge on in an advanced way, meaning sticking out of the opening a little bit more to compensate for this wonky piece of Home Depot pressure treated pine. It's now dry, which is good, so I'm not going to change it, so that the door actually functions as it ought to. Anyway, that's good. It's working pretty good. You know, you asked me, is it working like a dream? Well, I got it hinged and it works pretty good, but little things here. Let's see if I can pop that hinge there, I guess, because guess what? Forgot to stick it in right. Earlier, I had this thing swinging right here. I mean, as in correct. But now it's dragging. But one of the reasons why is this leg is still loose. So I'm going to try to. Ah, see that? There it goes. See how that works? Isn't that great? You know. I love being able to move the hinge that easy, huh? All right. So that's cool. But now let me see if I can get this out. Get this hinge back to where it needs to be. I can tell you, you know, I mean, it's really close to lunchtime, right? And when it's close to lunchtime, you know, your body feels it, your mind feels it, you know, and you're like, huh, am I close to being done? You know? So then you think that you are, and you want to kind of keep on pushing through because, hey, it's almost lunchtime, right? But with something like this, man, it's really kind of hard to tell, you know? You know, it's got a lot going on here, which is really interesting. It seems like somehow, you know, this is the kind of thing that'll happen, right? And it'll cause you to get anxious. But if you come around and look at this, I mean, look how this hinge hits in here. You see that? I got this space right there. I mean, I got to adjust my hinge placement, which is not always so easy, you know, because here we are on this little scaffold here. You got to get in there and you got to route it out for the hinge and all that kind of stuff. And you know, trying to get everything all lined up, it's just, I think it's taking a lot of brain power, you know, to relax and continue to get it done, you know, 'cause I do have that slight anxiety that comes over when you check the weather for tomorrow and it says it's going to rain, you know, tomorrow, where I had completely planned on, planning on, being here to keep on making sure these things fit. If it rains tomorrow, it's one of those things. I mean, you can't do what we're doing here in the rain. I mean, I got the sun in my eyes right now. But you know what I'm saying? So, process that you have to go through. It's very slow and deliberate process. You know, little things that really bug you, like on the end of this thing, it's dadgum Torx bit. So instead of changing that out, you know, I mean, I need it later, so I'm grabbing this one, right? Screws, my hinge on here, you know. There we go. And we'll see how this baby fits, okay? So that's there. Let me close. This one goes first. It's pretty nice. And, man, so close. See that? I mean, it's like, it's almost there. I can see where it's touching right there. So it's a good question. You know, maybe I can tighten up my hinges here. Maybe that'll suck it a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. So I got to put all my screws in to make sure, you know, everything's fitting right. But I mean, you can see, I mean, that's, I mean, if you look all up and down, that's, it's parallel, okay? And parallel is what you want, you know, and so what that means, I know where this 2x6 here is. I know it's loose right now, but I'm gonna put a mark there with an X on this side to indicate that that's where that goes. And I'm gonna have to take some of those Torx screws and fasten this to the sill so that that stays put. You know, shoot. But then, you know, I've also got this one. This guy's moving, so I gotta, you know, do the same thing. Get some Torx screws and attach that guy. You know, and then of course, you know, then this is later on. Maybe that's this afternoon. Or it is this afternoon.
Yep.
Using up a lot of brain power on this, you know, but you know, you just got to keep on, you know, dialing it in. It's not as though it's, you know, one of the easiest things. This is why window craft, I mean, actual window craft is hard. It's complicated, you know, because, you know, these folks, they're good folks that we're working for, you know, they want to keep their windows, and their other options are, you know, to go with what, you know, the corporate replacement. But how are you going to replace this thing? What are you really going to put in here? You know, so you've got to have somebody who knows how to do this kind of stuff, and you know, trying to get to where I can train some people. You know, but here's the thing is, I mean, Scott, you're sitting here watching. I mean, how long does it take to train somebody to be able to do this?
A long time.
A long time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't, I mean, there's just so much, you know? Now, there's always something you can be doing, you know, to contribute, you know, while you're learning, you know? But, you know, in order to learn this stuff, I mean, you got to be in a situation like, you know, like Scott, like you're in right now, you know?
Yeah, you got to scrape the frames while you wait.
You know, so.
I'm way ahead of you.
You are. I need to hurry up, huh?
I'm already up there.
Yeah, I'm already up there. All right. Well, so that's well, I mean, it's swinging nice, you know, so that's swinging nice. Now I just have to make sure that they close really nice and smoothly one against the other, you know, and everything's still lining up. That's good. So also, it's easier to hang a sash like this without the glass in it because you can grab it very easily, you know. So anyway, that's where we are.
Okay.
Okay, so how do I get this over? I think so. One technique is like if it's parallel the way it needs to be right now, the whole thing needs to shift over. All right. So what I can do, one thing I can do, is take this back off, shave the side off with the planer. You know, the portable planer, buzz it off a little bit. Okay, but when you do that, that changes the depth of the hinge. You also have to go through and take the router, you know, this guy, and adjust the hinge depth, you know, in accordance with how much you take off. You know, so the question becomes, do you do it once, one pass, or do you do two passes? Maybe you can do one pass at a 16th. Maybe one pass at a 16th and one pass at a 32nd, and then do your hinges. question, you know? An educated guess is gonna be a 16th plus a 32nd, that's 3/32. Shift it over to the left a little bit, my left, rehinge it, rehang it, see how it fits. That's what we'll do. All right, so without the belt sander, I was able to slope this to the inside a little bit with my 3 degrees like I was trying to describe earlier. I know I did it with this planer. It's not that easy to do, but somehow I managed it kind of almost accidentally. And you can really kind of see it here. See how it slopes? That's good. You know, it slopes right there. That's when I took a 16th pass. I'm gonna take my 32nd now with this machine. You know, rehinge it and put it back in the opening. You get that screw tip? That
Oh, no, I can't find it. Okay.
you can't find it?
It's not
On
here.
what's that?
Might be in my box.
What? This one goes. This is a. Oh yeah. Torque screws, man. I don't understand them. I mean, I just. Who has Torx bits? I don't know. I mean, extra. You happen to have this extra one. I got one more screw to drive. This one. It's like so dumb, man. I don't know. Put that in the trash. But now I don't even need that one anymore, so I just put that back in here for the time being. Because, okay, so what I'm trying to do with these stupid Torx screws is, you know, I've got this sash is fitting, you know, here. I mean, just like I like it. And this is very rare, but I was able to move this post here with the door or the casement sash attached, and it was just the adjustment I needed. So now I'm pinning this leg in place. So, and I was in the middle of it and I was almost done when the dadgum Torx screw thing broke. Anyway, you think I got an opinion about Torx screws? I guess I do, huh? Here, I guess I'll put it back in this guy. Jeez. All right, let's make that in there. Oh yeah, that's in. Now I got this other one where, you know, the broken tip is still stuck in the head and it's not exactly sunk, you know? What do you do? Anyway, this is fitting pretty good now. Last thing I have to do is I'm gonna put my stops on and then we can take these out and, you know, give them to the refinisher, you know? The mechanical makeover is practically done, you know, and to finish this mechanical makeover, what do we have to do? We had to replace the sill. We had to make a new sash. We had to rehinge stuff. We had to mortise stuff, fit it, you know, but we're there. So, thanks for watching.